Historically, I have had a good reputation of giving honest, yet at times generous reviews of products that were sent to me. This was sent to me by the company called Apeman. They make projectors almost exclusively, and this one was an interesting one to me because it was pretty cheap. It was about $80 or less, maybe $70, somewhere in there. Which is cheap for a projector because 720p projectors at times can still be around $300. So now on the site it says that it is 1080p. However, it is not. Now I was going to make a bit of a longer review on this product because I usually like to go in depth and as best as I can, and I even wanted to like edit a video and edit photos on this, but I'm going to spare you and myself that because after limited use, I've come to conclusions very quickly. But let's unbox the experience first. So I will give them credit. They do package it well. I really like the packaging on this because this type of enclosure is very safe and protective of it. So I give them credit there. So you should never have any damage to the product when receiving this. Now the size of it is decent enough, about an average size for a projector of this scale. It has a nice little lens cap with an elastic string attached, and it has a little kickstand here that helps you adjust the, I guess, essentially keystoning of your image. Now on the top it has one of the least intuitive control schemes I've ever seen on any product. But thankfully enough, it comes also with a remote, which is a lot easier to use. However, they have the volume plus on the left as opposed to the right, which is the opposite of pretty much everything for some reason. But, you know, the controls are good enough and easier to use. The top controls, I don't know what is going on there. It's very, very odd. It has a built-in speaker on the back. Long awaited 3-year updates that finally went through allowed me to finally be able to connect this Xbox controller, which has not good audio. It is very bad, but pretty much every projector I've tried that has built-in speakers are not good and pretty much only to be used if you have no other option. But at least they're there. But that can be saved by the audio input on the right side of the projector. For the ports, we have a SD card, a TF card slot, so you can load up media that way, a USB, which can be used to either power some sort of dongle, like if you wanted to use Chromecast or something like that. And then there is, oh, you can also read media through the USB as well. Then there is your HDMI port, and then the AV cable and the VGA. And then your power is on the side. On the top you have a focus ring and a keystone adjustment. And that is pretty much it. Oh, and I should note on the bottom here, there is a screw mount for if you want to mount it to something. Now, we have that out of the way. Oh, wait. I should note too that it also comes with an HDMI cable, your component cables, and your power cord. And it also comes with this manual. Now, I will let you know right off the bat, don't expect much. Through a lot of my testings, one thing became very clear. On the website, on Amazon, you can see in the listings it says supports 1080p, but 1080p is big and bold, and most people are going to assume that means that you're going to see 1080p. And for the price of $80, that is an amazing deal because most projectors that, you know, put out 1080p are very expensive. This supports a 1080p input, but the output is about 480 to 800, according to what the tech specs say. and it is very obvious when looking at the image. Now, I don't think it will always matter to you, but if you're getting this expecting 1080, you're going to be extremely disappointed. And I want to make that clear because I think that you can enjoy this enough if you just want like a bedroom projector. You know, you want to have a little theater experience in your bedroom and you want to go to sleep to, you know, a movie or something like that. And you're not really there to really enjoy an immersive experience per se, because I gotta say, watching movies projected is a charming experience even at a low resolution. There's something charming about just watching it. It gives you this cozy feeling. In fact, it's kind of been all the rage of this past year. You'll see it in a lot of social media posts of people getting little projectors and watching things. But you're not going to enjoy it in the same way. So basically this projector has a little LCD screen that is low resolution. That's pretty bright, and it projects out through this lens. There's nothing too fancy about this, but you can see the RGB lines up close, and a lot of things look kind of blocky, which if you're watching like cartoons and things that have general shapes and I don't know, you might not be able to tell as much. And I think kids could really enjoy this if they wanted to watch cartoons in their room or, you know, whatever. But anything that it requires, you know, a little bit better contrast, because the colors and the contrast weren't great at all. I've tried a few different bits of content, which I will also mention now. This does not support Dolby digital audio. Now, a lot of Blu-rays and players will output in Dolby digital, and if they do, this will not support it. I hooked up my Blu-ray player to it, and it wasn't even like something super high-end. It was just a Sony Blu-ray player that's very common, and I couldn't get any audio out of it. Now, if you can change the audio output of your player somehow, you might be able to get audio through it, and it did not. And I finally figured it out, because it took me a while to figure out what was going on, because the speakers internally wouldn't work, the 3.5 millimeter jack output would not work. So once I went through the manual, which no one's ever going to do, I saw that it doesn't support Dolby Digital. So things like through laptops and computers and everything was fine. Sticking in the media inputs through USB, I could watch stuff, it worked fine. But yeah, if you're getting this exclusively for playing DVDs, I would keep an eye out for that. Make sure that you can change the audio output to not Dolby Digital before you get this. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to listen to anything, which I think is a deal breaker for a lot of people. And it's also why this thing is so cheap, because that requires licensing to be able to do that. So, I mean, I've brought out a lot of the negatives because I think you guys need to be aware of what you're buying before you buy it. I'm not saying this is the worst thing in the world, because to be fair, it is cheap. And I think that due to the VGA and even the component cables, I think the best use case for it would be to watch older media. Like if you have a VCR, or you want to watch old VHSs, or if you have old game systems that still use component cables like this, I think that would be a great way to watch this, or a great use case to enjoy your stuff a little bit more, rather than, you know, a lot of TVs don't have component cables anymore. A lot of the screens don't have VGA outputs. So I think for that reason, that might be a good use case, to be able to play old retro games in a dark room and, you know, live out nostalgia. I think that'd be cool. But honestly, if you're trying to watch high quality video, this ain't it, Charlie. So, I mean, I wanted to do more with this video, but I was just having some eye strain with some of it. I think I got the good picture. So those are my thoughts. That's what I think of this thing. If you're interested in looking at it, it'll be in the link below. And in the future, I would like to do a better quality projector, because I think that would be a cool format to edit videos on. Very old school. I think that'd be cool. So one of these days I'll see if I can get my hands on a higher resolution projector. But until then, how do you close videos again? I think I just walk out.